Marion, I came as soon as you called me. What happened? Did Gemma cause some kind of trouble again? This girl is really going to be the death of me someday. She's been scammed out of her money by another good-for-nothing man. Why does she keep doing this? Why does she have such terrible taste in men? She definitely doesn't take after her mother, that's for sure. On top of that, she seems to have gotten herself involved with loan sharks. One of them showed up at the house earlier, causing a scene. How can she keep getting into these scrapes? It's about $30,000 this time. I'm really scared of the loan sharks, Andrea. They seem really violent. They also keep threatening to raise the interest rates. So it won't be long before 30,000 becomes 35,000 and 35,000 becomes 40,000. I think the most pressing matter is to make sure to pay back the loan sharks. As you know, Gemma has absolutely no money in savings because she keeps getting conned by these awful men. She doesn't really have a stable job at the moment either. So I was wondering if you would possibly be able to ask your mom if she would be okay with lending us some money. Again? Really? My mom isn't made of money, you know. She can't just always readily hand over money when I ask her. It's really uncomfortable for me to keep asking her for money on your behalf. You know that, right? And besides, last time this happened, you said that you promised it would be the last time you asked my mom for financial aid. My mom has lent your daughter more than $30,000 over the years, and she hasn't paid back a single penny yet. I really can't do this anymore. Well, what else do you expect me to do in this situation? It's not like I have any money myself, and we can't keep going to loan sharks to help pay off the loans we got from the other loan sharks. That's just a vicious cycle of debt. Gemma is 35 years old now. Don't you think it's a bit unbecoming for her to be constantly running around after loan sharks at her age? I know the situation is not ideal, but surely the priority above everything else should be diffusing the situation before it gets any worse. So please don't be stubborn about it and just ask your mom to help us out one more time. She's rich, so it shouldn't be a problem for her. She owns a huge office building downtown and is getting rent from all the businesses in there. So you can't go around telling me that she doesn't have the money to help us out right now, because I know that's just not true. When you and my son got married, we all became one big family, didn't we? Surely your mom doesn't want to see her son-in-law's precious sister suffering like this. If it was just once or even twice, I really wouldn't mind asking. But this has happened several times now, and to be frank, you're putting me in a very difficult situation. I'm sorry if you think I'm speaking out of turn here, but it's clear that this keeps happening because Gemma has never been left to sort things out on her own before. And these days, the one bailing her out is always my mom. She needs to be taught that you shouldn't resort to going to loan sharks for money under any circumstances. It's not like she's some kind of dumb kid. She's 35 years old, for goodness sake. At 35, you should know how to deal with your own problems and stop relying on outside help. Not giving her the money to bail her out obviously won't help her in the short term, but once she's learned how to take responsibility for her actions and deal with the problem she created herself, she'll then be able to move forwards with her life without anything like this ever happening again. So you're saying you don't want to help her at all? Is that it? I'm sorry. I'm too ashamed to go begging my mom for money to cover Gemma's debts again, so I won't be asking her to help this time. How can you be so cold-hearted? Your sister-in-law could be murdered by gangsters any minute now, and you're saying you don't want to lend her the little bit of money that could save her life? Just because you feel a little embarrassed to ask your mom for money again. I told you, it's not necessarily because I'm embarrassed. It's because this is what I believe is best for Gemma in the long run. I think it's probably best if you also stop being so ready to help her out when you should be teaching her some valuable life lessons instead. If you don't give her any other options, I'm sure she'll eventually find a way to get herself out of this mess. When she realizes she has nobody to fall back on, I'm sure she'll finally repent on her actions and realize that she shouldn't put herself in this kind of situation ever again. So basically what you're trying to say is that you think I haven't raised my daughter well. Am I right? Yes, tell me honestly if you don't want to help. There's no need to give me some kind of lecture to try and make out that you have the moral high ground. Forget it then. I also think you're exaggerating about how much your mom has helped out in the past. It really hasn't been that many times. If you're not going to help, then you might as well just get out of my house. Marion, please don't take this personally. I'm just saying that I think this is the best way to make sure that Gemma finally comes to her senses and cleans her act up. Even if my mom does agree to give her the money she needs to get out of debt, who's to say that she isn't going to go and get scammed again and end up in even more debt than she was in before? There really is a limit to how much my mom can keep paying on her behalf, you know. Well, there's no need for you to pretend that you're worried about Gemma. You've made it perfectly clear that you don't care. If this is all you have to say, hurry up and get out. I thought you would be more generous as you come from a rich family, but I guess you're way stingier than I could have ever imagined. I'm sick of the sight of you, so just go home already. All right, I'm going. She really is cold. I can't believe she actually left when I told her to. Hello? What's up?
What on earth did you just say to my mom right now? She's already feeling sensitive because of what happened to Gemma, so how could you be so callous that you made her cry?
Oh, she went crying to you, did she? I told her clearly the last time this happened that I would not be asking my mom for any more money to help solve Gemma's problems. You said that you were on my side at the time. It hasn't even been 2 weeks since I said that, and she's already gotten herself into another mess. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm not dragging my mom into this anymore.
Even so, you could have been a little bit nicer to her and let her down gently. You know that she was feeling upset, yet you decided to aggravate her further. You could have gone about it a little bit more tactfully. And besides, I really don't get what the big deal is. Your mom is so rich she can definitely afford to help Gemma out. $30,000 is basically nothing for her. I'm sure she gets more than that a month just in rent from the businesses in the building that she owns.
Actually, a lot of the tenants have been refusing to pay their rent, so my mom has been struggling a lot recently. And $30,000 isn't basically nothing to her. It's a large sum of money in anyone's eyes. Besides, people can't just go around borrowing money whenever they want to. That's not how society works. And it doesn't sit right with me that Gemma keeps getting into these situations, but she won't ever take responsibility and sort things out for herself. This is the root of the problem. If she just learns to be a little bit more of a responsible adult, she won't keep falling for the same scams over and over again. I'm not asking my mom for more money to help her, and that's final. You promised me that you would back me up on this if this ever happens again.
Yeah, but the situation is really bad this time. I know it's annoying, but can't you just ask your mom for help one more time? I really think that Gemma is reflecting on her actions this time round. The only reason that she ends up getting into trouble all the time is because she's naturally a good-natured person and people take her for a pushover. I've given her a good talking to and told her that she shouldn't let herself be taken advantage of again, so why don't you just agree to help her out? Surely you don't want to see her being chased around by a bunch of loan sharks, do you?
Nothing you say is going to get me to change my mind. Find another way to bail her out this time. I really don't like how your mom and your sister both think it's okay to go running to my mom for money whenever anything bad happens. My mom isn't just an ATM, and they need to realize that.
But what's a little bit of money between family? You're just being petty and cheap at this point, and I'm really disappointed in you. I don't feel like talking to you anymore. I'm hanging up.
Hey! How dare you hang up on me without even properly listening to what I have to say? That family are always begging my mom for money, and they're never even thankful for it. They just keep taking her for granted. They're getting more and more shameless about it as time goes on. Hey, Mom. What are you doing calling me so early in the morning? Hey, Andrea. I was just a little worried, that's all. Zach called me last night and he told me not to tell you, but I kept seeing you in my dreams, so I thought I would call you. Zach called you? What did he want to talk about? He said that Gemma has gotten herself into trouble again and she's being chased by loan sharks. He was crying his eyes out and saying that he was scared for his sister's safety, so he asked me if I would help them out by lending her some more money. I felt so awful, so of course I agreed. What? He really cried to you on the phone? I told him so many times to not call you asking for money. He must have been so desperate to have to call me directly about this. You should have told me if something like this had happened. Why did you keep it to yourself? I'm going to send the money to Zach's account right away, so tell him to use that to help pay off Gemma's debts. We need to get the loan sharks to leave her alone as soon as possible. Loan sharks are scary people, and there's no limit to what they'll do to get their money. Nothing good comes from getting further involved with them. So it's best to nip it in the bud early before they start threatening violence. Mom, please don't give them any more money. I feel terrible that they keep getting me to ask you for money every time they need help with something. Now that you've helped them so often, they're starting to take you for granted. Gemma isn't even trying to avoid getting into trouble anymore. I really don't think this will be the last time they try and ask you for help, and I really don't want them to think you're a pushover with an unlimited supply of money that they can just keep milking. Oh, don't you worry. I told Zach very clearly that this will be the last time I do something like this. I think it's best to just agree to help out this time, because loan sharks will go after anyone they think has even a vague connection to their debtors, and they might end up coming for you as well. And anyway, my tenants paid me their rent today, so I have plenty of money at my disposal. I'm going to send Zach the money right now, okay? Mom, please don't send the money! Mom? Hello? She already hung up on me. I can't believe that Zach went behind my back to ask my mom for the money directly. I won't stand for this.
Hello?
You called my mom and asked her for money? I told you a million times not to do that. Why don't you listen to me?
I told your mom not to tell you, but I guess she blabbed. Is it really any of your business if she decides to send me money regardless of what you say?
You really do just see my mom as nothing but an ATM, don't you? If you're going to continue disrespecting me and my mother like this, we're getting a divorce. It really doesn't sit right with me that you're happy to keep using her like this. I can't believe you even cried on the phone to her. That's essentially emotional blackmail. And don't think I haven't noticed how much you've been sucking up to her.
I've just been trying to maintain a good relationship with her, that's all. She really likes me, you know? Shouldn't you be happy about that? If you really did go ahead and divorce me, I'm sure she would be really against it.
I really can't believe you're using that as a threat against me. Anyway, you need to give back the money my mom sent you right now.
Why would I? Your mom gave it to me fair and square. And I've already used it to settle Gemma's debts with the loan sharks, so there's nothing that you can do about that anymore.
I really can't tell if you're bluffing or not, but the way you're acting is making me want to serve you those divorce papers right away. I really don't want to spend another day of my life married to someone like you.
Why are you overreacting like this? You can't just threaten divorce over something like this. I don't have time to listen to your nonsense anymore. I'm hanging up. I am a busy man, you know.
Hey! Don't be so dismissive of me like that!
Hey, Andrea! It's me, Gemma. I heard that your mom bailed me out again. I really wanted to say a huge thank you to her, so I thought I would call you and ask you to relay my thanks.
How many times has it been now? How many times has my mom's money saved you from a financial predicament? When are you going to actually develop some sense and stop falling victim to these scammers? And why on earth would you borrow from loan sharks when you knew full well that you wouldn't have the money to pay them back?
I guess it just kind of happened somehow. Anyway, thank you again. You and your mom really saved me. By the way, would you be able to lend me a little more money on the down low? Just between us girls.
What did you just say? You just paid back your debt to the loan sharks this morning, and now you're already asking to borrow more money?
Well, it's just I quit my job a while back and don't have any income right now. I don't have enough money to buy essential everyday items, and I feel embarrassed asking my mom to give me an allowance at my big age. I've been looking for jobs, even just for something part-time whilst I get back on my feet, but I can't find anything at all. I'm not asking much, just enough to cover my living expenses for a month. Maybe around $1,000 should do the trick.
You live by yourself, so surely you should be able to get by on a little less than that. Instead of going around asking other people for money, I think you should be trying a little harder to find a new job.
I told you I was trying, but I haven't had any luck. Also, I'm still really depressed after being betrayed by my ex, so I'm in no fit state to work right now. Spending money always makes me feel better. So if you give me some money now, I can invest it into making sure I'm in a better place mentally to work harder to find a job later on. I just got off the phone with Zach and he told me all about how you and your mom solved my problems for me, so I thought I would ask as I was calling to say thank you anyway. Are you not going to lend me any money then?
I really don't know how you have the audacity to ask me for more money when my mom has just sent you $30,000. You're so tactless. I really don't know why my mom has to be blood dry constantly because of your reckless and irresponsible actions.
I really don't get what the big deal is. Your mom is rich, isn't she? I don't see how the amounts of money that she has been sending to help me out can be considered as anything more than nickels and dimes to her. Forget it. If you don't want to lend me any money, that's fine. I wondered why my mom was so mad at you earlier, but now I understand. If you're going to be this stingy, you shouldn't go around bragging about how you have a rich mom. Anyway, I'm hanging up now. Bye.
Gemma! That girl is just so infuriating. How can she be so shameless? She doesn't seem to feel any kind of embarrassment about any of the predicament she's landed herself in. Huh? Why am I getting a call from the hospital? Hello? I'm so sorry, I was on another call. Is everything okay?
Hi there. Are you Ida Johnson's guardian?
Yes, I'm her daughter. Is she okay?
I'm really sorry to inform you, but your mother has been involved in a car accident. She was hit by a truck while she was crossing the road. She was rushed into the hospital, but she unfortunately remains unconscious. Her condition is quite critical, so it would be best if you could come to the hospital immediately. We will most likely have to perform surgery on her. How fast can you get here?
Excuse me? My mom was hit by a car. I was on the phone with her just a couple hours ago and she was completely fine. This is a nightmare. I can come right away. Mom? Mom!
Hi there, are you Ida Johnson's daughter?
Yes, I am. Tell me honestly, is it really bad?
She sustained quite significant head injuries, so we're gonna have to take her in for emergency surgery. We won't know exactly what her chances are until after we've performed the surgery. We just need you to fill out this consent form in order to go ahead with the surgery.
I can't believe that something like this could happen to my mom.
I can sign the form for her. She's clearly in no fit state. I'm Ida's son-in-law.
Honey, when did you get here?
I came here as soon as you called me. Obviously, making sure that your mom is okay is far more important than work. I'll take care of the technical side of things, so you just sit down and breathe for a second, okay? It must have been really shocking for you, huh?
Honey,
Here you go, have a nice cup of hot coffee. I had the shock of my life when I heard the news about your mom being in an accident, so I can't even begin to imagine how it must have felt for you. Apparently, the motorist who hit her was completely at fault. He had run a red light when she was crossing the street and he was speeding on top of that. It really scares me the way that some people drive. If I get my hands on him, he'll regret ever being born. Also, I asked the neighbors to pick up the kids from school and look after them this evening, so you don't need to worry about anything else today.
thank you so much. You've been so level-headed and organized, even though you must have been in shock as well. You must have a lot to do at work as well.
No matter how busy I may be, nothing is more important than your mom's recovery. I'm praying that she's gonna make it through this.
Yeah, me too. She's a fighter, so I do still have hope. He really is being the perfect son-in-law right now. Maybe I was a little too mean to him before. I feel really awful now.
I also wanted to apologize for how I spoke to you today earlier. I was so preoccupied with the thought of my little sister getting hounded by loan sharks that I wasn't thinking about how my words might affect you. I feel really awful about your mom getting into an accident straight after we received all of that money from her as well. I really will try my best to make sure that this never happens again, and that if Gemma does get into trouble, she'll have to learn how to sort things out for herself. I've already told her very clearly how things will be different from now on, and I think that she understands. I heard about her asking you to cover her living expenses for the month as well, and I gave her a good talking to about that. What you said is really true. She thinks that whatever she does, we'll step in and get your mom involved so that she can get out of trouble scot-free. I think now she's really starting to come to her senses a little.
So now you finally understand how I've been feeling this whole time? But I think I also need to apologize to you. I was way too harsh on you this morning.
I just felt like you were disregarding the fact that my mom's money didn't come from nowhere and that she worked really hard to get to where she is now. It just felt a little insulting that you were willing to keep asking her to give you such large sums of money as if it were nothing.
I completely understand where you're coming from. I'll make sure that a situation like this never happens again, so please don't threaten me with divorce like that again, okay? We've been married for 10 years now, and we even have 3 kids together. It seemed really crazy to me that you were threatening to divorce me over something like this.
I understand. I definitely went too far. I'll try not to be so reckless with my words from now on.
But I do acknowledge that my family and I were the bad guys in this situation, so I'll make sure that I can promise you that I won't let my mom and my sister guilt you and your mom into doing this again. This time I'll make sure I follow through with my promises.
Oh, hi, Marion. You really didn't have to come, you know.
How could I not come after hearing that poor Ida had been in such a terrible accident right after being such a great help to me and my daughter? The surgery went well, right? How come she's still unconscious?
She had a lot of internal bleeding on the brain, so even though the surgery went well, she still needs to be left to wake up on her own accord. But because they were able to operate on her relatively quickly, it's looking very hopeful that she'll be out of the woods soon.
That's such a relief to hear. Was she hit by the car while she was crossing the street?
Yes, the guy was speeding and ran a red light, so he came out of nowhere and she didn't have time to react. It was a truck as well, so the impact was really severe. It all happened in such a short space of time, which is what makes it all the more shocking.
You must have been going through a lot of emotions today. I would have come to offer you some support earlier, but things were really busy at the restaurant. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm really grateful for you just being here now.
I still feel really awful for snapping at you yesterday and for constantly asking your mom to give us money when we're in a pinch. I realize now how wrong I was, and the guilt is really eating at me now. The timing of her accident has really made me reflect on my actions and realize just how wrong I was. I'm so sorry, Andrea. The whole thing is my fault for not raising my daughter properly. Everything you said to me the other day was deserved.
Oh no, I definitely did go a little too far, and I also feel really sorry about that.
Oh, there's no need to feel sorry. I was acting a million times worse than you were. I'll never ask your mom for another penny ever again, so you don't have to worry about that anymore, okay? I'm also willing to stay by your mom's bedside and look after her whilst she's still hospitalized.
Oh no, it's fine. I can do that. You have your restaurant to run.
I insist. This is my way of paying her back for all of her kindness. And you also have to work, don't you? It's much easier for me to take time off than for you to. So just let me do this, okay? It's not going to be the end of the world if I have to close the restaurant for a few days. It's the slow season at the moment, and there haven't really been that many customers. You can just think of this as me taking a vacation. I also looked after my late husband when he was in hospital, so I have lots of experience in this field. I'll do my best to make sure she's okay, so don't worry too much and just head off to work tomorrow as you normally would. Okay? The neighbors also can't be watching the kids forever. Obviously, I understand that today was an emergency, but they're at the tender age where they really need to be looked after by their parents and not strangers.
I think that's a great idea, Mom. I think Andrea will agree that it really puts our minds at ease to know that Ida is in your capable hands. Honey, I can look after her after work and give my mom a break, so you just worry about the kids, okay?
Oh, there's really no need to go that far, but thank you.
I'm also feeling a lot of guilt about asking your mom for that money, so please, this is the last thing that I can do for her.
Yes, I think this will set both our minds at ease and allow us to do something in return for her after all she's done for us.
Are you okay? You must be in shock after everything that just happened. Yeah, but my husband and mother-in-law are looking after her, which is really nice. I was starting to get really annoyed at them for constantly asking my mom for money to help out my sister-in-law, and I really felt like they see her as nothing but an ATM. However, seeing how sorry they are and how willing they are to step up and take care of her in her hour of need makes me think that I was a little harsh on them. I don't think you were. They really were pushing boundaries there.
It was only right for them to volunteer to look after her if they had any kind of conscience. Are you at your mom's house now, by the way? Yeah, the doctor said that there's a high chance that she'll regain consciousness tomorrow or the day after, so I'm just getting some clothes and other essential items that she might need. I heard that we were able to get a private room for my mom thanks to you. I'm really grateful for that. I'm so lucky to have a friend who's a nurse. I'm just glad that I could help you out somehow. I wish I could do more. I wanted to go and see you as soon as I heard that your mom had been brought to our hospital, but I was also dealing with an emergency case, so I wasn't able to. I'll drop by and pay her a visit tomorrow. That would be lovely. Thank you so much. There's no need to thank me. We've been friends for years, and I've always really liked your mom. Let me know when you're visiting her tomorrow, and I'll make sure to come and see you then. If there's anything you need, don't hesitate to ask me. I won't. Thank you so much. Hi, Marion. Thank you so much for looking after my mom all day. You must be so tired. I tried to get here as quickly as I possibly could, but there was so much traffic. I'm so sorry. Oh, no, it's fine. Don't worry. You're still here much earlier than I expected you to be. You could have taken your time. It's not like I've really had anything to do. I have just been sitting next to your mom, reading or watching TV. It's a little worrying that she still hasn't woken up yet, though. I really hope that she wakes up tomorrow. Yeah, I really hope so, too. I just want to see her get back to her old self as quickly as possible. I haven't been able to focus on work today at all because I've been worrying about her so much. The doctor said that she was most likely going to be okay, so I'm sure there's no need to worry. Is this a hot pack? Is your neck uncomfortable from sitting in the chair all day or something? Oh no, it's not for me, it's for your mom. I looked it up, and apparently if you keep an unconscious person warm, it will help them to wake up faster. So I bought a hot pack in the hopes that it would help her somehow. And her knees are broken from the impact of the truck, so the least I can do is make things slightly less painful for her when she wakes up. Thank you so much, Marion. You've been so attentive and caring for my mom, and I really appreciate that. Well, she's basically family, isn't she? Family should take care of family, after all. Ida, hurry up and wake up already. Your poor daughter is worried sick about you here. I'm sure you want to see your grandkids soon as well. I really don't know what I would have done without you, Marion. There's nothing worse than seeing a parent sick or injured, so you need all the support you can get at times like this. But I'm sure she's going to make a full recovery in no time, so don't you worry, okay? I'll do whatever I can to make her comfortable while she's at the hospital. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I already told you that I really don't mind sleeping here. What are you going to do about the kids? Zach is perfectly capable of looking after the kids by himself. Don't worry. It wouldn't sit right with me to have you stay here all night when you already stayed here all day anyway. Please head on home now. I would feel more at ease knowing you can finally get some proper rest. If you insist. But I think you're just going to tire yourself out here all night when you've been at work all day. Even so, she's my mom and I want to be there for her as much as I can. You're so stubborn! All right, I'll leave. But I'm coming back first thing in the morning, okay? All right. Thanks again for everything. Get home safe. Hey there, Andrea. Sorry I couldn't come earlier. There were so many emergency patients coming in today that I haven't had a second to breathe. I was so rushed off my feet I didn't even notice the time passing. Hey, Kaylee. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day to come and say hi. You must be exhausted. Has your mother-in-law gone home? Yeah. I felt bad that she had been here keeping vigil all day, so I sent her home to get some rest. I don't think you should feel bad. After all, you said that your mother-in-law had a lot of reasons to be grateful to your mom. By the way, I saw something a little suspicious earlier. Suspicious? What do you mean by that? Well, I've been dropping in every now and again to see how your mom was doing, and I saw your mother-in-law had something under her blankets. She jumped when she saw me come in, which made me think that she might have something to be feeling guilty about. What on earth could she be hiding in my mom's bed? I have no idea, but it smelled fishy to me. Maybe you should have a look in the covers and see if you notice anything. I think if you're worried about your mom being alone while you're at work, you should hire a professional to stay and look after her instead of trusting your mother-in-law. The other nurses said that she kept getting up and going outside, and she didn't really actually do much to help other than just sit by her side. But she said that she had been here all day long. Well, that's not true according to the other nurses. Even though she kept acting all high and mighty and making a big deal out of the sacrifice she was making to look after your mom, she still kept leaving at every opportunity she could get. Your mom needs somebody constantly by her side in case she wakes up, so the other nurses had to keep an eye on her as your mother-in-law wasn't doing what she said she would do. I had no idea that's what was actually happening. Though I'm sure she had her reasons. I'm not sure about that. I'm just relaying what the other nurses told me they saw. Anyway, you better have a look under the blanket and see what it is that she put here. I'm sure it's nothing. And I'm sure she was just startled when she saw you because she just hadn't expected to see you at that exact moment. I really think it was the kind of startled reaction you only have when you get caught doing something you shouldn't be doing. I'll move your mom to another bed, so take off the blanket and check thoroughly. Okay, I'll have a look. Huh? What on earth is this? Some kind of talisman? Talisman? That is so not what I was expecting. Well, to be honest, my mother-in-law has been going through some kind of late midlife crisis, and she's been really obsessed with witchcraft these days. I thought it was just some weird phase to help her cope with stress, but I guess she's way more into this occult stuff than I thought she was. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that this is not a get-well-soon charm if she's put it in there secretly without saying anything to you. I have no idea what any of these symbols mean, so I couldn't tell you what this was. Me neither. I guess maybe she kept leaving to go and get her witch friends to make this for her? Yeah, that's a possibility. I think maybe you should go and pay her witch friends a little visit. Obviously, I don't believe in dark magic, but you might be able to find out what her intentions were in getting this thing made. Yeah, I probably should. This hobby of hers is clearly getting out of hand. I don't know exactly who it is she hangs around with, but I keep seeing an advert for a witch in my neighborhood who provides fortune-telling and occult services. So I guess I'll go and see her and ask her if she knows what this is. Why have you come to see me today, dear? I can tell just by looking at you that you're having problems with your in-laws. Oh, no, I'm not here to talk about anything. I just wanted to ask you if you know anything about this talisman. My mother-in-law has been looking after my mom while she's in the hospital, and she seems to have put this in her bed. I just wanted to see what this means so I can find out what her intentions were. It's clear that your mother-in-law has not been looking after your mother. This is a curse talisman. A curse? What do you mean by that? I did tell you, didn't I? That it was obvious from the moment you walked in here that you're having problems with your in-laws. If you're sure that your mother-in-law was the one who put this in your mother's bed, then it's certain that your mother-in-law wants to see your mother dead. This is a curse to wish death upon someone. Are you serious? My mother-in-law had this made because she wants my mom to die? I knew she was a little crazy, but... There's no doubt about it. I've seen these talismans many times throughout my career. This talisman is imbued with hate and ill intent. And she probably paid a pretty penny for it as well. Most witches will refuse to outright curse someone to die. And if they do, they'll charge you a lot for it. Looking at the color of the ink, it hasn't been that long since this was made. If you want to ensure your mother's safety, you should make sure to burn this as soon as possible. I really can't believe she would do something like this. Just when I was starting to believe that I judged her unfairly all this time. I guess the whole reason she was so eager to volunteer to stay by my mom's bedside was so she could do this. Even if I don't believe in the occult, I knew that my mother-in-law does. And the fact that she put this in my mom's bed, believing and hoping that it would kill her, makes me sick to the stomach. My mom has always been nothing but nice to her and has always helped her out in her time of need. Some people in this world are just ungrateful. I think it would be best for you to divorce this toxic woman's son as soon as possible. Nobody in your husband's family is innocent here. They're all hoping that they can benefit from your mother's misfortune. The sooner you can cut ties with them, the better. Did you not go to work today, Andrea? How come you're here so early? Something came up and I needed to take the day off. Andrea... Is that you? Mom! Are you awake? Can you hear me? Nurse! Nurse! Come quickly! My mom has regained consciousness! Oh no. How come she's awake already? Excuse me? Why would you say something like that? Were you hoping that my mom wouldn't wake up? I never said that. You just heard me wrong. I said, oh, I'm so glad that she's awake already. I don't think the nurse heard you, so make sure to shout louder. I'm telling you, the curse had absolutely no effect whatsoever. Yesterday, it still seemed like there was a good chance she wouldn't make it, but today she regained consciousness and is even talking. The doctor said that if she looks after herself over the next few weeks, she'll be able to make a full recovery in no time. Did you make a mistake or something when you were writing the curse? I told you to give me your strongest curse to ensure that she kicks the bucket as soon as possible. How could you mess up something like this? I paid you a lot for this. I wonder where she's gone. I guess she's out here making a call to her witch friend complaining that the curse didn't work. She was obviously hoping my mom would pass away so she could try and get her hands on her money and property. I can't believe I was starting to think she was actually a nice person. How can you be so obsessed with money that you treat someone's life like it's nothing in order to get your hands on it? Especially when that person has done nothing but help you out without expecting anything in return. I'm not going to let her get away with this. I'm going to make her pay for wishing death upon my mom like this.
What's the reason for inviting me out all of a sudden? I'm always asking you to go places with me, but you always say that you're busy and you don't have time.
I'm just so grateful to your mom for looking after my mom in the hospital, so I thought I would do something for your family in return. You said that you're struggling to find a job at the moment? It really seems to be hard for everyone at the moment in this economy. You must be having a really hard time at the moment.
I really am! It feels so validating for you to acknowledge that. Thank you! My mom and Zach don't appreciate how hard things are for me, and they keep yelling at me to hurry up and get a job already without understanding that it just isn't that easy. They think that all I do is mess around with random guys all the time. It's so annoying! They won't even give me an allowance anymore either.
Ah, really? That's so unfair on you. I figured that's probably the situation you were in, so I thought I would do my best to try and do something to help you.
Oh, really? You can help me? How? Are you going to give me money?
I would love to, but unfortunately I'm not in a position to do that at the moment because I need to worry about paying my mom's medical bills. Which is why I wanted to offer you an opportunity instead. One of the ground floor shop units in my mom's building is going to be vacant soon, and I remembered that you were a qualified manicurist and it had always been your dream to open your own nail salon. How about you use this empty store to finally make that dream a reality? I think that being your own boss would suit you way better than working another unrewarding 9-to-5 desk job.
Well, I'd hardly say it was my dream. I just got the manicurist license for fun when I was feeling a little bored.
Well, either way, I think it would be a shame to let that skill go to waste when you spent lots of time and money on perfecting it. It's in a great location, and I'm sure you would get lots of customers. It made me think of you as soon as I saw it.
I guess I could give it a shot. I guess I never really was destined to spend my life working for other people. So you're saying you're going to give me the store for free?
I would love to do that, but sadly you'll need to put down a deposit in order to sign the contract. Normally people renting a unit in our building have to pay a deposit of around $100,000. But in your case, I can reduce it to around $80,000. And then I won't take any rent from you at all.
That's still a lot of money. How do you expect me to scrape that together? I'm unemployed and have fallen victim to several scams already. I have no money to my name at all.
If you get out a loan, you should be able to cover it. I'm sure that you'll be able to pay the money back in no time once you open the store and the customers start pouring in. And you'll get the deposit back eventually anyway.
I guess you're right. But would someone like me get approved to take out a loan for that much money?
As long as you have something to use as collateral, it should be okay. For example, a house or something.
Oh yeah! I can just use my mom's house as collateral. That should be fine, right?
Yeah, sure, if that's what you want to do. But I think if you do decide to do that, it's best to not say anything to your mom. It's just going to stress her out. Once you start earning money, you'll be able to pay back the loan and the house will never have to be involved. so she will never need to know about it.
Okay then. I know a lender who I can ask. I'm so excited! I'm going to become my own boss!
I'm so happy for you. Have a talk to your lender friend and contact me when you've worked something out. Oh, good, Andrea. You're here. This lady showed up saying she's a professional caregiver and has been hired to look after your mom instead of me. Did you hire her?
We were both really surprised to see her when you said you were fine with the two of us watching her. You weren't picking up your phone either.
Yeah, I did hire her. I was starting to feel really bad that you two were giving up so much of your time to be here, so I thought it was about time you deserved a rest. And now my mom's awake, I talked to her and she said she'd feel more comfortable with a professional than knowing she was taking up your time. Oh, really? I appreciate that you were worrying about us, but we really are happy to carry on looking after her. There was no need to waste your money on hiring someone. I still felt really bad. You both have other things to attend to. It would make me feel much more at ease to know that you could reopen your restaurant, Marion. I hate to think of you losing money because of me. And you also must be tired after spending long days at the office, Zach. So you should go home and rest in the evenings instead of coming here.
But she's gonna get discharged soon anyway. It really isn't any trouble.
Honestly, you really don't need to be here anymore. But thank you. Oh, by the way, Marion, did you leave this talisman in my mom's bed? How come you have that? Oh, I needed to change my mom's blankets and it fell out when I was taking them off. This is a lucky charm to help my mom get better faster, isn't it? It must be thanks to this that my mom woke up so quickly. Oh, yes, that's exactly what it is. Thank you so much. I know I said I didn't believe in all that stuff, but I really do think that my mom's recovery is all thanks to you. Now that she doesn't need it anymore, I think you should take it and keep it in your bag for extra good luck. Then it will make sure that you stay healthy and that nothing bad ever happens to you. Oh, I don't need it, really. It's better if you keep it here with your mom. She still hasn't made a full recovery yet, so she definitely needs it more than I do.
Yeah, I agree. It was a gift from my mom to yours, so it's only right that it stays here with her, don't you think?
Oh, no. My mom is a devout Christian, so she may feel a little uncomfortable about having it around. I really appreciate your sentiment, but if she notices it now that she's awake, she might feel a little weird. I'll just put it in your handbag here. Okay, Marion? What are you doing? Why would you put that thing in my bag? I don't understand why you're reacting like this. I'm just saying that I want you to be healthy. Yes, of course. Thank you for worrying about me. I'll take it with me. Okay, great. I think they've probably finished doing my mom's checkup by now, so I'll go and see how she's doing. You two should both get going now. You're okay to have the kids by yourself again tonight, right, Zach?
Yeah, of course. Go and see your mom.
She doesn't know what she's doing putting this thing in my bag. Excuse me? Oh, nothing. I'm just mumbling to myself. I'll get going now, then. So all you have to do is sign the contract at the bottom here. I've already made sure that the deposit money has been accepted.
Here, right? Okay, I'll sign right now. I was actually so surprised at how easy it was to get that loan out, you know? As soon as I put the house down as collateral, I was able to get $100,000 out with no problem whatsoever. I'll use the $80,000 for the deposit, and then the rest can be used to help set up the store.
That sounds like a great idea. By the way, do you not want to read the contract before you sign?
Oh, it's fine. I know you're a capable businesswoman, and I trust you've drawn up a great contract for me. I normally don't read things like this and just sign at the bottom or tick the box if it's online. They're normally so long and boring to read, and the information just doesn't go in. Once I sign, it's a done deal, right?
Yes, if you're really okay with not reading the contract, then that's all there is left to do.
You said that I'd be able to get the keys to the store the day after tomorrow, right?
Yes, I'll come and meet you outside the store and deliver them to you personally.
That's great! I can't believe it. I'm going to have my own store. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I need to go and brag to my mom and Zach that I'm finally going to be able to start working again thanks to you. But I am still a little worried about them finding out that I took out a loan for the deposit.
Just tell them that I made it so you can have the place without even paying the deposit. Like I said before, you're going to be able to pay the money back, so they never need to know about the loan.
I guess you're right. You're a genius. Thank you. I guess I'll see you the day after tomorrow then.
So you're saying that Andrea just gave you this store for free? Why didn't you say anything to me until today?
Well, you had been so busy looking after Andrea's mom at the hospital, so I didn't think it was the best time. This really is a dream come true. Andrea is such an angel. The location is so good, and I don't even have to pay rent.
Really? Well, I guess we really are finally getting some good luck, huh? It will be nice to run your own business.
Right? I'm so excited to become my own boss. To be honest, I feel like my skills were wasted stuck in an office job, and I felt like there was no opportunity for progression. This way, I can earn loads of money doing something fun. Andrea really is the best, isn't she?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. All she's given you is access to an empty space. Her mom needs to hurry up and die so that we can get our hands on this building and make as much money as she was making. I need to get another curse talisman made. What are you two doing here? The new owners of the store are going to be coming soon.
What do you mean? This is my store, isn't it?
Oh, hi, Andrea. If you were planning on giving this store to Gemma, why didn't you tell me? But if you did give this place to her, then why are you talking about the new owners? Some people signed the contract to take over this place yesterday. The plastering needs to be redone before they arrive, so that's why I came by today. You two can't be here. Please leave.
Andrea, I don't know what you're talking about. This is my store. I signed the contract a couple of days ago and I even paid you the deposit.
What do you mean you paid the deposit? With what money?
I got out a loan and used your house as collateral. Andrea said that I wouldn't need to pay rent as long as I pay the deposit. I have the contract and everything. I can show you.
Excuse me? I never gave you permission to use my house as collateral for getting out a loan. I told you if you got yourself into debt one more time, I would disown you, didn't I? And you, Andrea. Why did you go and make her take out a loan in order to pay for this deposit? You knew that she didn't have any money in the first place.
But I've already signed the contract, Mom. Surely this place is rightfully mine. Right, Andrea?
I did tell you to read the contract before signing, didn't I? Why don't you read it now?
Read the contract now? I don't see what the use in doing that as. This contract states that Gemma Brown consents to pay back the $80,000 she borrowed from Ida Johnson to her daughter, Andrea Johnson. This agreement was reached on the date stated below? What on earth is this?
What kind of sick joke of a contract is this? Do you realize what you've just consented to? If you sign this, then this is legally binding, Gemma. The money that you borrowed from my mom over the years totals to $80,000. You seem to think of it as gifts that you were getting for free and that you would never have to pay it back. But those were loans, not gifts. I knew that you would keep avoiding paying it back somehow, so I have these documents drawn up. You signed the contract now, and you've already sent me the money, so there's really nothing you can do. If you start protesting that you didn't know what you were signing, then that's your own fault for not reading the contract before signing.
But this isn't what we agreed on! I thought I was signing a contract to get my own store.
Any adult with an ounce of sense would read anything legally binding. Perhaps twice or 3 times before agreeing to sign it. It's not my fault that you're so irresponsible that you think reading something like a contract is boring and too hard. Anyway, this is all a done deal now. I have my money and I have your signature to prove that you consented to give it to me. So why don't the two of you hurry up and get out of my sight already? Are you really telling me that you've gone and scammed your own sister-in-law? On the contrary, she's the one who's committing fraud by accepting large amounts of money and refusing to pay it back. But what she's done is nothing compared to what you wanted to do, Marion. Excuse me, what have I done? No matter how much you wished you could get your hands on someone's money, you really shouldn't go around leaving cursed talismans in their beds in the hope that they will die. Did you think I wouldn't find out? How on earth did you know about that? So that's why you've done all of this. That's why you stabbed your poor sister-in-law in the back like this. You two are the ones who stabbed me and my mom in the back first. Pretending to be nice and going out of your way to look after my mom in the hospital, but actually going as far as to employ dark magic in an attempt to kill her? What is wrong with you? I heard that you should burn that talisman straight away in order to avoid its negative effects. I bet you've burnt it already because you were afraid it was going to kill you, right? But even though you thought you got rid of it, it's still inside your bag. What are you talking about? I clearly burnt it. Huh? It really is still in here! How could this happen? I had a copy made of the one you tried to give my mom and put it in your bag around a week ago, I think. But it seems like it hasn't had any effect. So it must just be a whole load of nonsense after all. So you're saying that you put a cursed talisman in my bag knowing that it was meant to kill the person carrying it? Are you crazy? You're the crazy one, Marion. Who even thinks of doing something as sick and twisted as this in the first place? You should be grateful to my mom for everything she's done for you. But instead, you repay her by wishing she was dead? Anyway, I'm sick of the sight of both of you, so hurry up and get out of my mom's building.
But what about my store?
The store was never yours, you stupid girl! You really need to hurry up and grow up. You can't afford to be this naive and irresponsible at your age. The only reason you've been able to get out of all the predicaments you get yourself into is because my mom and I have been helping you. But what are you going to do now? I'm not your family anymore. Good luck having to take responsibility of your clueless, empty-headed daughter without our help, Marion. How could you be so rude to your own mother-in-law? You're not my mother-in-law anymore, Marion. I'm going to divorce your son. He should have received the papers by now. Check your mail. Now get out of here before I have to call security to have you removed from the building. Or is security not a big enough threat for you? I'd be more than happy to call the police if you prefer.
Mom, let's just go. I don't think she's bluffing when she says she would call the police on us.
I can't believe this is happening.
What's going on here? You're serving me divorce papers?
That's right. You and I are going to be getting a divorce. Hurry up and sign the papers already. I'm sick of the sight of you.
But we were doing so well these days. Why would you say that you want to get divorced out of the blue? Your mom is still in hospital as well. I told you before not to throw the word divorce around so lightly when we have the kids to think about as well.
Well, listen to this voice recording and then you'll know why. Although I think you already knew about this anyway.
What do you mean? Oh, this is my mom's voice, right? Who is she talking to?
This is a recording of your mom talking to some kind of witch on the phone, complaining that the cursed talisman she had made to help kill my mom wasn't working. You already knew about this, didn't you?
No, I had no idea. The first I heard about the talisman is when you brought it up when the three of us were at the hospital.
Well, to be honest, whether you knew about it or not really doesn't matter. Your mom clearly expressed that she wished that my mom would die so that she could get her hands on my assets. So much so that she got some occultist involved. I feel like this is definitely enough of a reason for a divorce. I could probably sue as well if I wanted to, but I'm giving you the chance to take the easy route if you just sign the papers now. Hurry up and do it if you don't want this to be a long and painful process.
I'm so sorry, Andrea. I'll apologize profusely to you on my mom's behalf. You know that she has a very strong personality. I really didn't think that things would go this far. I'm so sorry. Would you please find it in you to forgive her for this? You know that my mom can be a little bit crazy sometimes.
Don't try and dismiss this as just crazy. This is way more than crazy. I get that you're her son and you want to try and make excuses for her, but I just don't want to hear it. All your mom and your sister care about is money, and now they're entirely your responsibility because I don't want anything to do with it. I have a feeling they're going to be a little more desperate than usual after today.
What do you mean by that? Did you do something to my mom and my sister?
I just made sure I got paid back what was rightfully my mom's. Everything has been done completely legally, so nobody can complain about anything. Anyway, I'll give you a week to sign the papers. Otherwise, I'll go ahead with the lawsuit. I'll be taking the kids and I'll be filing for full custody.
You can't do this to me. And you can't just up and leave. And you need to explain to me exactly what you did to my mom and sister. Ugh, Mom, why did you have to get caught making this kind of phone call? So, what you're telling me is that you signed a legally binding contract without even taking a glance at it to see what the contents were, and it wasn't actually a contract to give you the empty shop in Ida's building, but a contract to make sure that you paid back all the money you borrowed over the years? Are you out of your mind?
You're such a stupid girl! What are we supposed to do now? Now my house is at risk of being taken away because you went behind my back and used it as collateral to get out that stupid loan!
How was I supposed to know that things would turn out like this? What if loan sharks start coming after me like before? I'm going to have to start paying interest soon as well.
And just how do you plan on going about that when you don't have any money? You really have 0 sense. We don't have our safety net anymore now that Andrea is divorcing me.
Well, you should try and do something to help your sister, Zach. You have a stable job, so you should be able to get a loan out from the bank. And during the division of assets, you'll probably get something, right? Andrea is from a rich family, after all.
Is that really all you can talk about? I thought maybe you might have learned something from this whole experience, but I guess you're still the same as ever. Wake up and realize that we're gonna be completely ruined over this.
Why do these kinds of things always happen to me? Why am I always getting scammed by everyone? I also went around bragging to all my friends about how I'm going to be running my own business. I'm so embarrassed I could just die.
Is your reputation really that important right now? If you're going to worry about something, worry about how we're going to pay back this loan. I guess I must have done something terrible in my past life to have ended up with such a terrible fate in this one. What did I do to deserve such ungrateful children that caused me nothing but trouble? Anyway, we need to do whatever we can to make sure we don't lose this house.
I don't care, leave me out of this. You two created this problem so you can sort it out. I am sick of cleaning up your messes for you.
Hey! Where do you think you're going? You're going to borrow some money from the bank for us, right? The divorce went ahead and I was able to get full custody of our 3 children. I also made sure that Zach sends me child support every month. It seems that Zach started taking on a second job as a taxi driver in order to help pay back his sister's debts. Apparently, Marion also ended up selling her restaurant. As for my mom, she was discharged from the hospital after the doctors made sure she was doing well, and now she's made a full recovery. She was upset when I first told her I was going to divorce Zach, because she's a strong believer that children should grow up living with both their parents if they can. But after she found out what happened with Marion, she decided to fully support my decision. She agreed that it was best to not have those kinds of people in our lives. I was able to return the $80,000 safely to her, and the kids and I moved so we could live around the corner from her after the divorce. My mom and I often take the kids on trips together at the weekend, and we're always eating dinner together on weekdays. I'm really happy with our new life, and I wouldn't change anything for the world. I keep thinking that I should have divorced Zach earlier, but I kept giving him the benefit of the doubt even when it was clear his family was taking advantage of my mom. My life is infinitely better without him, and I often wonder how I was able to put up with being in that marriage for so long. I'm focusing on working really hard on my career and also making sure that the kids have the best life possible. I'm also keeping a close eye on my mom and making sure she stays healthy. I hope that our new little family of 5 can continue living happily together for many years to come. Thank you so much for listening to my story, and don't forget to like and subscribe.